Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get started. Today it is October 20th, 2022. It's on Thursday. It's sunny outside. The electric bulb in my toilet went out of battery. The electric bulb in my toilet, one of my toilets, went out of battery. We have to replace it with a new one. We have to replace it with a new one. The electric bulb in my toilet broke down. It expired. We have to replace it with a new one. The electric bulb in my toilet broke down. Went wrong, broke down. I think broke down because it has been used for a long time. So I think it broke down finally. The flashlight is getting dim. I have to replace it with a new. I have to replace the battery with a new one. Would you mind helping me replacing the electric bulbs, replacing the batteries with new ones? Would you mind helping me replacing all the batteries with new ones to all of the sensor lights around my house? The Vice President will replace the current CEO as new CEO. Robots and AI will replace us as new employees, workers. Robots and AIs might replace us with new employees. Could you replace the battery with new one? I'd like to replace the old keyboard with a new one because I've been using it for more than 8 years. I usually use everything. I usually use everything until it wears out. Until it wears out. I usually use everything until they wear out. Excuse me, I found something in the glass. I'm sorry, I will replace it with the new one. The school replaced the opponent as the new champion. The school team replaced the champion as a new champion. YouTube might have replaced TV as a new platform. as a new entertainment to watch. Social networking service replaced TV as a new entertainment, I think. Maybe. Less and less people are watching TV now, according to the information. According to the information, less and less people are watching TV now. Many of them spend more time on internet. The human resources said there are many replacements, except you. The human resources told me that there were many replacements. The postal department told me that there were many replacements. Replacement. I, I've, I haven't got the replacement of the electric bulb, so I have to go to buy. I haven't got the replacement of the electric bulb. I have to go to buy one. Replacement. The replacement of the electric bulb. Is the replacement of the electric bulb difficult? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Replacement. For the replacement or dealing of gadget or something like that with more than 100 voltage, you need a qualification. replacement, replacement, replacement. Have you done the replacement? Have you done the replacement? Have you done the replacement of the electric bulb? Replacement, replacement. Is the replacement of the filter difficult? Is the replacement of the filter difficult? Is the replacement of the filter difficult? Is the replacement of the parts 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 difficult? It's not so difficult as you imagined. It's not so difficult as you imagined. It's simpler, much simpler. I will show you how to do that. So from today, I want you to do that. Once you've got the skill, I want you to do the replacement. I want you to do the replacement. Is the filter replaceable? Is the part replaceable? There are many parts replaceable. There are many parts replaceable. Replaceable. There are many replaceable parts. There are many replaceable parts. There are many replaceable parts. Replaceable. 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 Is it replaceable? There are many replaceable parts. Is the part replaceable? Yes, the part is replaceable. The part of the machine is not replaceable, so please operate the machine so carefully so that it won't break down, okay? The part of the machine is not replaceable, so please operate the machine so carefully so that it won't break down, okay? Replaceable, replaceable, replaceable. Replaceable, 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 replaceable. The human resources told me that there are many employees are replaceable. I am replaceable. I was replaceable. The human resources told me that I was replaceable. There are many candidates who can in charge of the position. Replaceable. Are the some menus? Are the some ingredients replaceable to what I can eat? Because there are some ingredients that I cannot eat. Are there some ingredients in the menu replaceable to what I can eat? Are there some ingredients replaceable to what I can eat? Because there are some ingredients in the menu that I cannot eat. So if possible, I don't want to do that. Okay? I'd like to ask if I can change some of the ingredients that I cannot eat to something I can eat. Is it possible? Yes. But please inform the staff beforehand, because if you inform them after the order, it might be it cannot catch up. It might be too late. So please tell them beforehand, or when you make an order, or when you make a reservation. Are the ingredients replaceable? Is the fruit replaceable to the one that I can eat? Replaceable, 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 replaceable. Are some of the ingredients in the menu replaceable? Are the ingredients in the menu replaceable? Are the ingredients in the menu replaceable? Are the ingredients replaceable with what I can eat? Many things are replaceable right now, nowadays. Many things are replaceable to your taste. Replaceable, 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 replaceable. The plane ticket is not replaceable, so please bear that in mind. Take that in mind. There are the House of Representatives and House of Councillors. Are you going to run for a Senate? Are you going to run for Senate? Senate. Senate. The Senate member. Senate member. An election choosing Senate members will be held. The election to choose Senate members will take place. The election for choosing Senate members will be held. The election for choosing Senate members will take place. Senate, Senate, Senate. Are you a Senate member? Do you want to be a Senate member? Are you acquainted with a Senate member? Senate. Are you acquainted with a Senate member? Senate. The association visited the party to meet the Senate to request help and aid. Senate, Senate, Senate. Would you like to be a Senate member? Would you like to be a Senate member? or a member of the House of Representatives, Senate, 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 Senator, 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 Senate, Senator, Senator. Do you want to be a senator? Do you want to be a senator? Do you want to be a senator? Senator. Senator. Would you like to be a senator? Are you going to run for a senator? Are you going to run for senator? Are you going to run for senator? Senator. There are 248 senators in Japan. There are 248 senators as of October 20th, 2022. Senator. And half of them are chosen every three years. Senator. Senator. You can run for the senator over the age of 30 in Japan. You can run for the member of the House of Representatives at the age of 25. But if you want to be a senator, you have to be over 30. Senator. There are many confusing, intricate procedures. There are many obsolete procedures which should be done away with, which should be abolished. There are many obsolete procedures which many people think should be abolished, done away with. A legal procedure. The company A has decided to file a lawsuit against the company B for the fraudulent scheme. Procedure. The bill has not been based on the official formal procedure. A legal 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 procedure. I'm not familiar with a legal procedure. How can I file a lawsuit? It sounds costly. It sounds cost a lot. It sounds costly. It sounds confusing, difficult. How can I file a lawsuit? It sounds costly. Do you know how to file a lawsuit? Do you know how to file a lawsuit against someone or association or company or country? A legal procedure. A legal procedure. A legal procedure. The legal procedure is underway. The legal procedure is underway. The legal procedure is underway. Legal procedure. Legal procedure. Legal procedure is underway. is the legal procedure is being processed. 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 Please proceed to the directed direction. Please proceed to the direction ordered by the board. Please proceed to the right. No matter who criticizes me, I will proceed. No matter who criticizes me, no matter who criticizes me, I will proceed. I will go my own way. Mind your own business. It's none of your business. No matter who prevents my dreams, I will not stop my dream. I will not stop proceeding. No matter who criticizes you, you should proceed. Please proceed with your duties. Please proceed with your duty. Proceed with your work. Proceed to forward. No matter what terrible weather it is, the festival will proceed. No matter how bad weather it is, no matter how bad weather it is, the festival will proceed. No matter what weather condition it is, the festival will proceed. The time proceeds, even now. It cannot be stopped. The time is proceeding all the time. Time is shared with us fairly. Everyone has the same time. Proceed. Please proceed to the direction. Please proceed as directed. 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 Please proceed as directed on the board. No matter how bad weather it is, the time is proceeding. No matter what happens, the time is proceeding. No matter who criticizes me, the time is proceeding. No matter who criticizes me, I will proceed. No matter who criticizes you, you should proceed. Never mind, don't care. It's none of your business. Mind your own business. Don't get in my way. Snoring sound gets on my nerves. Snoring sound gets on my nerves. The tree on the road was blocking the access to the mountain. The trees on the road was in the way of the pedestrians and commuters. Please proceed as directed. Please proceed to the right. Proceed, proceed. The time is proceeding. Please proceed with your work. Please proceed with your practice. No matter what bad weather it is, the festival will proceed. No matter how bad weather it is, the festival will proceed. Proceed, 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 proceed. The time is proceeding, even now. "90% of the pedestrians are proceeding to north. 90% of the pedestrians, 90% of the commuters are proceeding to the same direction in the station." You can see 99% of the visitors are proceeding to the same direction. About 90% of the commuters are proceeding to the same direction in the station in the morning rush. The proceeding for the lawsuit sounds difficult, sounds confusing, sounds intricate. I often confuse the position of Tottori Prefecture and that of Shimane Prefecture. I used to confuse the position of Tottori Prefecture and that of Shimane Prefecture, but now I can tell. The proceeding of filing a lawsuit sounds difficult, sounds confusing. The proceeding of filing a lawsuit sounds very difficult and confusing and costly. The proceeding of filing a lawsuit sounds difficult, sounds confusing. I don't know about it at all. Could you tell me the proceeding of how to operate the machine? Could you tell me the proceeding of getting the points, getting the discount? Proceeding. The proceedings are stored in the storehouse. The proceedings are stored in the archive. I cannot make heads or tails of the proceeding. I could not make heads or tails of the proceeding. I couldn't comprehend, apprehend, understand the proceeding of that. I am very late to understand the proceeding of job, new systems. I am very late to understand the proceeding of new systems. I am very late. I'm very late. I am very late to understand the proceeding of new systems. I'm super late. I'm super late to comprehend the proceeding of new systems. I'm very late to late. I'm very late to proceed. I'm very late to understand the proceeding of new systems. I am very late to understand the proceeding of new systems. I am very late to understand. I am very late to understand. I am very late to understand the proceeding of new systems. Proceeding, 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 proceeding. The proceedings are stored in the archive. Proceedings, proceedings. The proceedings are well organized. The boss told me to sum up the proceedings. Summarize the proceedings. Could you summarize the proceedings? Could you summarize the proceedings? Could you sum up the proceedings concisely? Could you sum up the proceedings concisely? Could you summarize the proceedings concisely? Proceeding. The proceeding of the application took more than 1 hour. The proceeding of getting the point is very confusing, so many gave up applying for that. The proceeding of getting the discount sounds very difficult and confusing, so many citizens gave up. The proceeding of getting the points sounds very confusing, so many gave up. The proceeding of getting the points sounds confusing, so many gave up getting the point. Proceeding, proceeding, proceeding. Proceeding, proceeding. You need to finish the proceeding at the counter before going to the board, going to the gate. There are many proceedings you need to go through before getting the points. I'd like to finish the proceeding, confusing proceeding, by Friday. Proceeding. Have you finished the proceeding? 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 The proceeding of getting the points sounds very difficult, confusing, which made many citizens give up. The proceeding of getting the point sounds very confusing, which made many citizens give up. The proceeding of getting the points sounds very confusing and difficult, which made many citizens give up. Proceeding, 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 proceedings, proceedings. The proceedings are stocked in the archive. Can I have access to the proceedings? Can I have access to the proceedings? Can I have access to the proceedings? Proceedings. Have you read the proceedings? 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 Proceeding. The proceeding of getting the points sounds very confusing, which made many citizens give up. Proceedings. Proceedings. The proceedings are well organized. Proceedings. Proceedings are the record of the diet session. Proceedings are the records of the diet sessions. Proceedings. Proceedings. Do you like party? Some groups have the party at the end of the year and the new year. Some companies will hold a party at the end of the year, which is called forgetting the year party. To forget bad things and welcome the new year with fresh mind. I don't like a party. I don't like to join a party. Do you like a party? Are you a party person or not? I don't like a party. I prefer to study at home than to join a party. There are both the ruling and opposition party. There are both the ruling and opposition party. The ruling party and opposition party. The current ruling party of Japan is the Liberal Democratic Party. Plays a role in the ruling party. The Liberal Democratic Party plays a role in the ruling party now. There are many political parties. There are many political parties. Which political party are you in favor of? Which political party do you support? There are many kinds of insurance. There are many kinds of insurance. Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in an unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployed insurance? Have you enrolled in an unemployment insurance? Unemployment insurance. 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 Insurance against the fire. Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against theft. Insurance against fire. My house is insured against fire. Is the house insured against fire? Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against the unexpected. Have you enrolled in an unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in an unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Have you enrolled in unemployment insurance? Insurance against the earthquake. Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against the unexpected. Insurance against the theft. Insurance against fire. Insurance against earthquake. Insurance against car accident. My car is insured against car accident. Many cars will be insured in case of emergency. We usually insure our cars in case of emergency, so that to avoid paying a lot of money. I insured my house. My house is insured. The store ensured us that the price of the product would be the cheapest in the region. The store ensured us that the price of the product would be the cheapest in the region. Some people like to insure everything. Some people tend to insure everything. Some people are inclined to insure everything. Some people are apt to insure everything. Insure. Have you insured your car? Have you insured your car? Have you insured your car? Do you usually insure your trip when you go to a foreign country? Do you insure your trip to a foreign country? The tourism agency recommended me that I would enter an insurance in case of emergency. The tourism agency recommended me that I would enroll in an insurance against the unexpected. So I insured my trip to a foreign country. Insure. Do you insure your trip to a foreign country? Do you insure your trip to a foreign country? Do you insure your trip to a foreign country? I insured my rented car in case of emergency, against the unexpected. I insured my rented car when I went to Hokkaido. I insured my rented car when I went to Hokkaido against the unexpected. Is the car insured? Is the house insured? Are you insured? Were you insured when you went to the foreign country? This car is insured. This car is insured. This house is insured. Everything is insured. Many things are insured. 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 To save money, the rented car was not insured. So we were driving so carefully to avoid any car accidents. The rented car was not insured, so we drove so carefully to avoid car accidents or any other problems. Is your car insured? Is the car insured? Is your car insured? Is your house insured against fire? Is your house insured against fire? Is your house insured against fire? Is your car insured? This car is insured. The insured of the healthcare system is covered, usually 70%. The insured of the healthcare system in Japan pays only 30% of the medical fee, and the rest is covered by the insurance. But when it comes to the elderly people more than 75 years old, they pay only 10%, but it depends on the income of the person. Even if the elderly people over the age of 75 and with the enough income, I forgot the exact amount of the income, but enough income, have to pay 30% too. I'm not familiar with it, so please do not believe it. I forgot the exact percentage. I'm just speaking. I'm just saying to practice speaking English, so please bear that in mind. I'm not sure, so please keep that in mind. The insured of the healthcare system in Japan, most of us pay only 30% of the medical fee, and the rest is covered by the insurance. The insured of the pension, national pension, the insured the insured, the insured, the insured, the insured, the insured, the insured, the insured of the medical care. Most of the insured of the medical care system in Japan pay only 30% of the medical fee, and the rest is covered by the insurance. When it comes to elderly people, it is less. Most of the insured of the medical care system, healthcare system in Japan, pay only 30% of the medical fee. Most of the insured of the medical care system in Japan pay only 30% of the medical fee, and the rest is covered by the insurance. Most of the insured of the medical care system in Japan pays only 30% of the medical fee, and the rest is covered by the insurance. Most of the insured of the medical care system in Japan pays only 30%, and the rest is covered by the insurance. The insured, the insured, the insured, the insured, the insured. This guy is insured. My house is insured. The insured. The insured is a person who pays for the insurance. The insured are the people who pays monthly or regularly for the insurance. To get the benefits. The insured are the people who pay for the insurance to get the benefits. Approval rating is usually high at the beginning, but it tend to decline with time. I'm not sure. I don't know why. The approval rating is usually high at the beginning, but it tends to decline, it tends to diminish, it tends to reduce, decline, go down with time, over time. Approval rate, approval rating, approval rate, approval rating for the company, approval rating for the government, approval rating, approval rate, approval rate, approval rating, approval rating, approval rate, approval rating, approval rating for the government, approval rating for the company, approval rating for the policy, approval rating for the policy, approval rating for the teacher. Approval rating for the administration of the current Prime Minister, President. Approval rating, approval rating, approval rating, approval rate. Approval rate is usually high at the beginning, but it tends to decline, go down with time. approval rating is usually high at the beginning, but it tends to decline. It is inclined to decline. It is inclined to decline. It is apt to decline with time. Which do you prefer, the window or aisle seat? I greeted a girl sitting on the passage corridor. I greeted a girl sitting on the passage. The president of the company cited a famous passage from the famous person. The CEO quoted a famous passage from a famous person at the meeting. The passage, it took almost half a year until the passage. It took almost half a year until the passage. The passage of notorious policy took us all by surprise. The passage of the bill took us all by surprise. The passage of the notorious bill unanimously took us all by surprise. The passage of the bill unanimously surprised all of the citizens. Passage of the bill. Passage of the bill. Passage of the bill. Passage of the bill. Passage of removing the political member from the White House was no wonder. The passage unanimously of removing the member from the White House was no wonder. Passage. The bill was passaged. Passage. There were many garbages on the street on the passage after the party. Please do not put anything on the passage. Make sure that there are nothing on the passage, because we have the regular checkup tomorrow. Please be sure. Please be sure that there are nothing on the passage, because we'll have regular maintenance tomorrow. Do you like to quote famous passages from famous people, famous celebrities? I like to quote famous passages from famous celebrities. I like to take advantage of the strong power of the passages from celebrities. I like to take advantage of the strong passages from famous people from the past. The passage of the bill took us all by surprise. I felt someone holding on my hand. The passage of the bill surprised us. The passage of the bill unanimously. The unanimous passage of the bill took us by surprise. The unanimous passage. The unanimous passage of the bill took us by surprise. Passage. Do you think the obsolete policy should be repeated? His privilege was repeated for a series of wrongdoings. His driving license was repealed for breaching the law, violating the law. His driving license was repealed for violating the law. The governor has the right to repeal driver's license. The governor has the right to repeal the license for breaching the law. For breaching the law, violating the law, intruding on the law. Repeal. The governor has the right to repeal the license of the people, of the citizens, for wrongdoings. The governor has the right to repeal the license of the people, of the citizens, for violating the law. The governor has the right to repeal the license of the citizens for wrongdoings, violating the laws, breaching the laws, intruding on the law. Repeal. Do you think the obsolete procedures should be repealed? The police station ordered the bank to repeal the bank account which he was using for the fraud. The police station ordered the bank account to repair the bank account which was used for the fraud. The bank account which was used for the fraud was repealed immediately after the fraud. The bank account which was suspected of having been used for the fraud was repealed. The bank account which was suspected of having been used for the fraud, deception, was repealed. The bank account which was suspected of having been used for the fraud was repealed. Repeal. The bank account was repealed. The bank account was repealed for having been used for the fraud. Repeal. The police station ordered the bank account to repair the bank account, to freeze the bank account. Repair. The governor repealed the license of the person for intruding on the law. Repeal. The bank account was repealed for having been used for the fraud. The bank account was repealed for having been used for the fraud. Repeal. I cannot agree to the plan. Most people will not agree to my plan. Most people will not agree to my plan. Most people will not agree to my plan. Because most people will not agree to my ideas. My ideas are usually very, very unique. That's why. Most people will not agree to my ideas. Most people will not agree to my ideas. Most people will not agree to my ideas. Most people will not agree to my crazy ideas. I was surprised at you to agree to my idea. I agree with you regarding the matter. I agree with you regarding the matter. Her shopping amounted to 50,000 yen. Her shopping amounted to 50,000 yen. The visitors to the facility amounted to 1 million a year. The visitor to the tourist destination used to amount to over 2 million a year, but it decreased a lot due to the pandemic. The number of visitors to the live amounted to 200,000. Are you going to apply for the job? Are you going to apply for the job? I'm of two minds whether to apply for the job. I'm in two minds regarding whether to apply for the job. I'm of two minds to apply for the job. Have you applied to the prefectural office? I have to apply to the prefectural office by Friday, which is the deadline. Have you applied to him? You can also apply to the person, receptionist. You can also apply to the receptionist. You can also apply to the institution, You can also apply to the receptionist or to the institution. Have you applied to the prefectural office? Have you applied to the city hall? After registering at the prefectural office, you can get the qualification. Before then, you cannot get the qualification. After finishing registering at the prefectural office, you can get the qualification officially. Have you applied to the prefectural office? Have you applied to the city hall? Have you applied to the city hall? Have you applied to the city hall? Can I apply to the city hall? Can I apply to the city hall? I applied to the receptionist. I applied to the staff at the entrance. I've applied to the institution before deadline. I applied to the tourism agency. I've applied to the tourism agency. I usually don't apply to the tourism agency, but I trip myself. I plan myself. I plan on my own. I plan my trip myself. I usually don't apply to the tourism agency, but I plan myself. I usually don't apply to the tourism agency. I plan my travel myself. I usually plan my travel myself. I usually don't apply to the tourism agency, but plan myself. But plan my travel myself. I usually don't apply to the tourism agency, but plan my travel myself. Have you applied for the campaign? Have you applied for the campaign? Have you applied for the school? Have you applied for the university? Have you applied to the institution? Have you applied to the institution? I've applied to the tourism agency. Have you applied to the tourism agency? Do you usually apply to the tourism agency for your travel? Do you usually apply to the tourism agency? Tourism agency for trip. Do you usually apply to the tourism country, a company, tourism company, tourism agency for your trip? Do you usually apply to the tourism agency for your trip? Do you usually apply to the tourism agency for your trip? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts? I used to belong to the club activity. I used to belong to the team. Which club activity did you used to belong to? Which club activity did you belong to? Did you used to belong to? Which club activity did you used to belong to? Babies can burst into laughing, crying, tears. Babies can burst out laughing, crying. Babies can burst into cries. Babies tend to burst into cries. Babies can burst into cries. Babies can burst into cries. Babies can burst out crying. Babies can burst out crying. All of the students bursted out laughing when the teacher said the jokes. All of the students burst into laughter when the teacher said the jokes. All of the students burst out laughing when the teacher said the jokes. All of the students burst into laughter when the teacher said the jokes. All of the students burst into laughter when the teacher said the jokes. All of the students burst out laughing when the teacher said the jokes. The dog burst into barks. The dog burst into barks. The dog burst out barking. The dog burst into barks. 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 The dog burst out barking. 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 The dog burst into barks. The dog burst out barking. The dog burst into barks. The dog burst out barking. The baby burst into cries. The baby burst into cries. The baby burst out crying. 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 The baby burst into cries. The baby burst into tears. Do you burst into songs when you are alone in the elevator? Do you sing? Do you burst out singing? Do you burst out singing when you are alone? When you are alone at the elevator? Do you burst into songs? Do you burst into songs when you are alone out of the elevator? Do you burst out singing? Do you burst out singing when you are alone out of the elevator? Hmm. The drunk man burst into sleeps. The drunk man burst out sleeping. The dog burst into barks. The dog burst out barking. The baby burst into tears. The baby burst into tears. The baby burst out crying. Could you call at the convenience store on the way? Could you call at the convenience store on the way? Could you call at a convenience store on the way? Could you call at a convenience store on the way? Could you call at convenience store on the way? whenever he takes the expressway, he calls at a service area. Whenever he takes on the expressway, he stops at the service area, the same service area. Whenever he takes the expressway, whenever he takes expressway, whenever he takes an expressway, he stops by, he drops by, he drops in on, he calls at a convenience store, he calls at the service area. Whenever he takes the expressway, he calls at the same service area. Could you call at convenience store on the way? Could you call at convenience store on the way? Could you call at the convenience store on the way? Could you stop by, drop in at convenience store? You can drop in on me anytime. I called at the bakery, famous bakery shop. We called at the baker's shop, with a view to buying the famous bread. We called at a cafe, whose specialty is espresso. We called at the ramen restaurant, which is famous in the region. We called at the ramen restaurant, with a view to eating ramen. We called at the Japanese restaurant with a view to eating ramen. We called at the Japanese restaurant with a view to eating ramen. The protesters were calling for the amendment of the Constitution. The protesters were calling for the amendment of the law. What are they calling for? What are they asking for? The customer called for the replacement of the menu. The customer called for the replacement of the product. The customer called for the replacement of the product. The customer called for the reimbursement of the product. In return for the returning. The customer called for the reimbursement because of the flaw. The customer called for the reimbursement for the flaw. The criminal called for 1 billion yen for the release of the victim. The criminal called for 1 billion yen for ransom in return for releasing the victim. I called my parents for studying abroad, but they rejected, so I'm studying in Japan. The customer called on the staff of the restaurant for changing the menu. With rude attitude, no one will listen to you. With bad attitude, with rude attitude, no one will listen to you. My friends called on me for picking them up at the airport. My friends called on me for picking them up at the airport. My friends called upon me for picking them up at the airport. I will call on my mother for picking me up at the airport. I will call on my friends for picking me up at the airport. Our boss called on us for working overtime today. Our boss has called on us for working overtime today. Our boss called upon us for working overtime today. Our boss called on us for working overtime today. Our boss has called on us for working overtime today. Our boss called upon us for working overtime today. The restaurant couldn't call upon the customers for paying extra. The restaurant couldn't call upon the customers for paying extra. I know better than to be deceived. 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 We should know better than to be deceived. We should know better than to be deceived. We should know better than to be deceived. You should have known better than to be deceived. You should have known better than to be deceived. You should have known better than to be deceived. I know better than to believe in such a fake story. I know better than to believe in such a fake story. The company calls on the candidate for having at least 3-year experience in the field. The company calls on us for having at least 3-year experience in the field. The company calls on us for having at least 3-year experience in the field. The company requires us to have at least 3-year experience in the field. Our boss called on us for working overtime today. My senior colleague called on me for driving him home after the party because he wanted to drink alcoholic beverages. My senior colleague called on me for driving him home after the party because he wanted to drink alcoholic beverages. My senior colleague called on me for driving him home after the party. My senior colleague called on me for driving him home, giving him a drive to home, giving him a drive home, giving him a drive, giving him a ride to home, giving him a ride home, giving him a ride home after the party. My senior colleague called on me for giving him a ride home after the party. My senior colleague called upon me for giving him a ride home after the party. My senior colleague called on me for giving him a ride home, giving him a ride home, giving him a ride home, giving him a ride home after the party. My senior colleague called upon me for giving him a ride home after the party. My senior colleague called upon me for giving him a ride home after the party. I will have to care for my parents when they get older. We will have to care for our parents when they get older. You should care for yourself more than caring for me. You should care for yourself more than care for me. We should care for our health more than anything. We should care for our health more than anything. The leaves changing to colorful color. The leaves will change into colorful colors in autumn. The leaves are changing into colorful colors. Red colors, yellow colors. The leaves are changing into colorful colors in autumn. The leaves will change into colorful colors in autumn. The wizard changed the trees into chocolate. The wizard changed the colors of the tree into red. The witch casts evil spell on the tree, changing them into chocolate. The wizard changed the tree into candy. If I were a wizard, I would change you into something. If I were a wizard, I will change myself into genius. If I were a wizard, I would change myself into a genius. If I were a wizard, I would change sad things into happy things. If I were a wizard, I would change the bad things, sad things, into happy things. Can I exchange Japanese yen into US dollars here? I'd like to exchange Japanese yen for US dollars. I'd like to exchange Japanese yen into US dollars. Can I exchange Japanese yen into US dollars here? The wizard changed the candy into chocolate. The wizard changed the chocolate into candy. The wizard changed the chocolate into candy. The wizard changed the candy into chocolate. We sometimes come across an old classmate. We sometimes come across an old classmate. We sometimes run into an old classmate. We sometimes run into an old classmate. We sometimes come across an old classmate. I came across deer on my climbing. On my climbing down the mountain. 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 I came across deer on my way to the top of the mountain. On my way back to the mountain. On my way back from the mountain. On my way back from the mountain. On my way back from the mountain. Where do you come from? Where do you come from? I come from Japan. I come from Japan. Which city do you come from? I come from Osaka. I come from Tokyo. I come from Hokkaido. The series of recession came into going bankrupt. The series of recession came into many companies going bankrupt. The series of recession came into many companies going bankrupt. The series of recession came into many companies going bankrupt. I don't want the society come into recession. I don't want the society to come into the recession. I don't want my car come into without gasoline, without gas, running out of gas. I don't want my car to come into running out of gas, petroleum. His series of negligence came into his resignation, his fire. The series of negligence of his came into his fire. His series of negligence at work came into his fire. Layoff. The leaves are coming into colorful colors toward the autumn. The color of leaves are turning into colorful colors, coming into colorful colors. The leaves are coming into colorful colors. The country is coming into more globalization. Globalism. The country is coming into more globalism. The country is coming into more globalism. The expressway came into congestion due to the car accident. The expressway has come into traffic congestion due to the car accident on the way. The expressway has got into traffic congestion due to the car accident on the way. The expressway came into traffic congestion due to the car accident on the way. His endless research came into winning the Nobel Prize for Physics. His endless research and commitment to the field came into him winning the prize. His commitment, passion, enthusiasm of the research came into him winning the Nobel Prize. His endless research, commitment, passion, and enthusiasm came into him winning the Nobel Prize. The once desolate village came into a hub of business district. The once desolate village has come into a vibrant city, a vibrant one, with many shops. More and more small villages might come into vibrant villages with many shops in the future, thanks to the new technologies such as 5G and so on. The necessity to live in urban cities will become less. So many other small villages will come into a vibrant city with many shops in the future, thanks to the new technologies. Because the necessity of living in urban cities will become less, thanks to the new technologies such as 5G. His series of negligence resulted in his layoff, ended up his layoff, wind up his layoff. He came into genius by doing effort. He came into so-called a genius by endless effort, by stacking up small effort, by accumulating small effort every day. He came into what is called a genius by accumulating daily small effort. His savings came into one of the 10 best assets. He came into one of those who are listed in the members with a lot of savings. The sparkle came into fire. The sparkle came into the fire. Hmm. The leaking water came into flat in the house. The leaking water came into flat in the basement of the house. The heavy rain came into the flat in the subway. His drunk driving came into car accident. His drunk driving came into car accident. His drunk driving came into a car accident. The TV program came into one of the most popular ones. The TV program came into one of the most popular ones. The once desolate village has come into a very vibrant city with many shops. The once desolate valley, the once desolate valley has come into a hub of business district. I don't like to compete with others. I don't like to compete against others. But thanks to the existence, thanks to the competence with others, we can do our more efforts. But thanks to the competence with others against others, we can grow more faster. We can grow faster. But I don't like to compete with others. We are unique. We are different from others. We are only one. Do you like to compete with others? Do you like to compete against others? We are made to compete with others from school days. We are made to compete against others from the school. We are always competed. We are always competed with others to enter university, to enter company, wherever we do. We are always competed. I don't like it. Whenever we do, we are always competed with others. We are always competed with others. We are always competed against others in order to enter company, university, and so on. Everyone is competing with themselves at last. Everyone will compete against themselves and at last. The real rival is ourselves. The real rivals are ourselves. We have to compete with ourselves. We have to compete against ourselves. We have to overcome ourselves. Thanks to the competence with my rivals, I could grow so fast. I could grow very much. I could grow very much. Many countries are competing with other countries regarding the development of IoT, new technologies, new products, and so on. Every country is competing with other countries regarding the development of new technologies. Many companies are competing with others regarding the development of new goods, new merchandises. Many companies are competing with others. Many companies are competing against others, developing new products which are not sold by other companies. I cannot concentrate on the study in restaurants, libraries, and public places because there are many noises in public places, even library. Can you concentrate on your study in public places? I tried to concentrate myself on my study in public places, but I couldn't, and I soon went home. I tried to concentrate myself on my study in public places, actually in library, but I couldn't, so I went home. I tried to concentrate myself on the study in the library, but I couldn't, so I came home. The examination consists of 4 sections. The examination consists of 2 sections. The examination is composed of 2 sections. At that time, there was none who supported me, so I had to cope with everything myself. I had no choice but to cope with everything by myself. I had no choice but to cope with everything myself on my own. Are you still corresponding with the pen pal living in Germany? Are you still corresponding with your friend living in USA? Are you still corresponding with your pen pal in United Kingdom? Yes, I've been still corresponding with my friend in United Kingdom, from the one from United Kingdom. The fingerprints left on the table corresponded with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the table corresponded with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the table corresponded with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the table corresponded with the criminals. The face captured in the security camera corresponded with him. The theft captured in the security camera corresponded with his criminal day. My day off corresponded with the closing day of the shop, Unfortunately, my day off corresponded with the closed day of the hair salon. Unfortunately, my day off corresponded with the day off of the hair salon. Unfortunately, my day off corresponded with my friend's working day. Unfortunately, my day off corresponded with the closed day of the shop. Kamakura period dates from end of 12th century. Actually, 1192. The first military government was established in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture, in Japan. The Kamakura government, Kamakura Bakufu, the first military government was established in Kamakura, Kanagawa Prefecture, in Japan. It dates back to end of 12th century. It dates back to the 12th century. Nara period dates from 710. Nara period started from 710, 710, lasted until 794. Heian period dates from 794. My interest in English dates from when I was 12 or 11. My interest in English dates from when I was 12 or so. The big earthquake dates from 2011. What were you doing when a big earthquake happened in Tohoku area in Japan? Do you remember what you were doing when the big earthquake happened in 2011? The Tohoku big earthquake dates back to 2011. The introduction of kanji and Buddhism into Japan dates from the mid-6th century. The introduction of the Buddhism and kanji into Japan dates from mid-6th century. The accident dates from 10 years ago. The last eruption of Mount Fuji dates from about 300 years ago. Mount Fuji is classified as an active volcano, but it last erupted about 300 years ago. My interest in English dates from when I was 11 or 12. My last foreign trip dates back to 2019. My last foreign trip dates from 2019. My last foreign trip dates from 2019. My last foreign trip dates back to 2019. My last foreign trip dates from 2019. My last foreign trip dates back to 2019. I'm sorry, this one does not deal in cassette tape anymore. We are sorry to say that this store hasn't dealt in cassette tape anymore. I'm sorry to say that this store does not deal in cassette tape and records anymore, vinyl records anymore. In contrast to recent cutting-edge music stores, the store still deals in vinyl records and cassette tape. On the contrary, the store still deals in vinyl records. Excuse me, the distiller deal in eyedrop. Excuse me, the distiller deal in eyedrop. The distiller deal in eyedrop. Excuse me, the distiller deal in eyedrop. The distiller deal in eyedrop. Excuse me, the distiller deal in eyedrop. The distiller in eyedrop. Deal in eyedrop. The distiller deal in eyedrop. Excuse me, the distiller deal in eyedrop. The shopping mall deals in almost everything. The shopping mall deals in almost everything. The shop deals in almost everything. The shop deals in almost everything. That's why many people gather, flock to, pour to the shopping mall. The shopping mall deals in almost everything. That's why many people flock to, gather to, pour to the shopping mall. Excuse me, does this store deal in iDrop? Excuse me, does this store deal in JBL speaker? Excuse me, does this store deal in imported goods from USA? Excuse me, does this store deal in imported goods from Japan? I'm sorry to say that this store doesn't deal in any things from Japan. We are sorry, okay? Excuse me, does this store deal in imported goods from Germany? Excuse me, does this store deal in Japanese food? Excuse me, does this grocery store deal in Japanese food? Excuse me, does this grocery store deal in Japanese food? Excuse me, does this grocery store deal in soy sauce? Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!